So there is an opportunity to ask any questions if there are any questions for the panel.
Hello, Sam Lonnan from Gloucestershire Care Services. I was just wondering if the panel were expecting an increase in Clostridium difficile rates with Pip/Tazo shortage worldwide, and the antibiotics that are now available on the formulary as recommended are more likely to cause C. diff in the colonised patient.
Contrary to popular belief, there is Pip/Tazo in the pipeline. There will be approximately 40 to 50% the amount of Pip/Tazo that we were currently using before, which was 20,000 vials a day, which is probably far too much. I suppose the alternatives we will end up using could well see an increase in the use of fluoroquinolones, which you might think might well end up sort of driving increased amounts of C. diff. However, fluoroquinolone resistant C. diff, such as strain 027, has almost sort of disappeared now. So hopefully it won't be causing too much of an issue. During my workshop, and some of the data showed up here, I think some of the antimicrobial stewardship activities that we've seen that have seen that sort of 8 to 9% reduction in Pip/Tazo and carbapenems last year. Also, we saw that for the first time a reduction in C. diff rates of about 9% sort of overall. I think if we keep on driving the appropriate review of patients within that first sort of 3 days and trying to stop any unnecessary antibiotics and de-escalate as much as possible, hopefully we won't see any increases.
Thank you. I was just going to also say, is there going to be a cost increase because what Tazo is available is much more expensive?
More than likely. One of the things we have to be aware is some of the reasons that we've driven antimicrobial resistance in this country is probably due to cheap antibiotics. Piperacillin tazobactam became so cheap, it was in the order of less than £1 a vial. And we've seen the increase in Pip/Tazo increase by over 50% over a 4-year period. That's why the Seacon came in. At the same time, we saw resistance rates in Klebsiella increase by 36%, E. coli increased by 31%. So cheap antibiotics probably have, and probably the C. diff guidance, have probably driven our use of Pip/Tazo. I did do a piece of work that fed into the United Nations looking at the increased cost of shortages since 2014 in England, and it was £31 million since 2014, and that was partly due to shortages as well as drugs that had been discontinued re-entering the market again, so things like nitrofurantoin in liquid as an example. So they're big pressures for us. And I think whatever we do, I think we have to almost stop thinking about antibiotics almost like any other medicines, and just think about that cost element for the individual thing, but we should focus more on the cost to the wider society of actually wearing our antibiotics out. And if you believe some of the figures that have come out from the O'Neill report of tens of trillions of dollars per year in lost productivity, then it's frightening. And even if he was wrong by a factor of 10, the individual increased sort of cost for the antibiotics is pretty small fry. So the message I think we should be doing is almost forget about the money type of bits, which I know is in the back of our mind, but actually focus on all of the increased costs through length of stay, mortality, healthcare acquired infections from using antibiotics badly.